Good morning, Class 12th. Today we shall be beginning Chapter 4, The Enemy by Pearl S. Buck. And this story is of the time during World War II. And here we shall be studying about the enemy, that is a Japanese doctor who hates American because of his patriotism. American prisoner of the war is washed away to the shore of his house, and the soldier who was wounded, evidently he might have escaped from the prison. He could have bled to death if this Japanese doctor, hadn't saved him. But Dr. Sadao helped him and saved his life. He kept him in his house at the great risk, okay, because he was his enemy and reputation, and the finally helped him to escape. He did it despite hating American without knowing why he was doing so. And we could say that it was his profession. Let me have a quick, notes of these chapter. Sadao and Hana are the two character here. Sadao is a doctor, Hana is his wife. Okay, we see in this chapter, Dr. Sadao, he was a Japanese doctor. His father was great patriot, and he had sent although Sadao America for his study of a surgery. Where he meets Hana, she was a pure Japanese girl, and that was the reason why the father he agreed to his marriage with us Hana. And after marriage they came home back, and according to the custom of the Japanese, they were married and they both have two children. Okay, now about the wounded American soldier who comes to their home. Dr. Sadao house was at the solitary place near the seashore. An American soldier who was washed away in front of their house one evening was found unconscious. Dr. Sadao and Hana, they ran both in order to help him out. Finding Anne to be an American soldier shot in the back, bleeding profusely, Hana refuses. She doesn't want to help him out. She wants that it should be informed to the department of soldiers army. But Sadao, as he was doctor, it was his profession, so he thought for a moment. Think of throwing him back to the sea. Cannot do so. And Sadao plucks the wound to stop his bleeding. And a doctor, as a profession, he was a doctor, so he looked at his wounds and carries him to his home. Hana washes the soldier. Soldier was covered with slush. Okay, Sadao asks Hana for a hot water. They do want to tell their servant about the white man, but it was little risky for them. Harboring an American a crime, and Hana feels they can't keep it in secret for a long. Decided to tell the servants, and it would hand him over to the police as soon as they recover. Hana tells Yumi and returns with Yumi carrying hot water. Yumi looks at an American. Yumi was maid, and she looks at the American and repulsion. Refuses to wash this dirty American. Hana shouts and Yumi refuses and remains stubborn. Hana sends her to the children, angry at her stupidity. But she herself washes this man, and although she also doesn't like him. Okay, now here we see the Hana, she is helping husband, but whereas Yumi, who's a worker, who's a maid, she refuses to clean the American. Okay, now next is we see Sadao operates on an American. Now he was this man, that is American, he has a bleeding and there was a bullet inside his wound. Sadao returned with his surgeon emergency bag, turns over wounded soldier who lies there unconscious, washes his bag and asks Hana to help him. He wants her to give the patient the anesthesia, whereas removes padding from the wound, which begins to bleed again. Hannah has never seen an operation. She feels like vomiting. Okay, she could not face the operation. Rushes out to the room, retches but returns. Sadao tells Hannah to saturate cotton, anesthetic, and keep it. Sees bullet in the wound. Hannah observes red scars on the soldier neck, showing he has been tortured. Okay, as he was in the prison. Soldier mutters about torture in his deep sleep. Sadao removes the bullet from his wound and soldier pulses grow stronger after the injection. Sadao declares that the American would survive. Okay, this is all the information about the American, how he was operated by the Sadao, and how he again regained the consciousness, he again regained the energy, and now Sadao was sure that he is going to live a longer. Sadao and Hannah look after American. They nurse the American. His wounds were healed. He again gained the strength. Servants, they were very restless, speaks loudly and let Hannah know their repulsion for the American. That is, Hannah keeps shouting in order that American should know that she is not liking him. Servants leave the Sadao's house. Now servants, they were annoyed, they were unhappy that Sadao is keeping this American to their house, so they didn't like it and so they leave the house. Servants leave Sadao's house, do not work that morning. Hannah pays them their wages and they cry as they leave. Hannah hold back her tears. Hannah has to do all household work all alone. Hannah wants Sadao to get rid of this American quickly. Sadao promises to do something about it. Although he thought of doing something, but still he could not, he think as a doctor. Now the arrival of the messenger. A messenger in uniform came to their house in the evening. Hannah was so frightened to see because it was the reputation of a doctor was on stake due to this American whom he has kept. Feels the servant must have complained, and she thought that maybe the servant had given the information and messenger had come to arrest her. But her fears unfounded. Old Journal, who was suffering from the ailment, has called for the Sadao. Sadao had been treating him, and Journal was now in pain, and he was sent for him. Journal's plan. Now Journal trusts Sadao, knows he might need to be operated upon, and so Sadao tells Journal about the American. Now we see when Sadao went to meet the Journal to take care of him, he told everything about the American to the Journal. Journal himself suggested him way to come out of it. He says he would be sending private assassins to his house to kill the American, and they would kill and remove his body from there. Sadao agrees his plan, waits for 3 nights, and no one arrives there. So the American soldier was also getting better and better. Thanks to Sadao. Now he thanks to Sadao. Sadao helps the American to escape, and Sadao finds it difficult to keep the American in his house any longer. So he thought of it's useless waiting for the assassins, and he decided to help him to escape. He provided him a boat, food, water, quilts, and his flashlight. Tells him to be uninhabited island very close to the shore, and asks American to sail to the island. Stay there till he finds a Korean fish boat pass by. Warns the American not to make any fire, advises him to catch fish and eat it raw. The American sails away to the island. Now, Sadao tells the Journal about his escape. Sadao again called the Journal and operates on the Journal, and he tells Journal, the prisoner, that American has escaped. Journal recalls he had failed to send the assassin, forget to keep his promise, and he assured that because of lack of patriotism, no derelictions of the duties. And Sadao realizes he's safe. Now servant returns as the American has left. So the servants, they also return, and the life again became normal. So Rouse remembers the American and remembers the American, although he hates him, but he doesn't know why he saved his life and he could not kill him. So this may be the profession that he was, who had which made him not to kill the this man. Okay, thank you, students.